Hello and welcome to Pitch Shift, the only podcast where our fucking set is completely different in every single episode, and that's been for happenstance thus far, but I think we should just keep doing this until the end of time.
Yeah, we'll just duct tape ourselves to the ceiling for the next one.
Yes, and just a friendly reminder that if you are listening to this on the audio platforms or listening to the audio only version of on YouTube, that you're truly missing out because you don't get to witness all the crazy shenanigans of us trying to finagle a set that actually looks kind of appealing. And often completely missing. Last week we looked like we were recording in like a blanket fort.
Just a shanty town made out, or a tent, so some would say, made out of blankets.
It was fitting that that's probably audio-wise our worst episode, buddy.
Yeah.
But stuff happens. As you can see, I am now further away from the mic, and there's a reason. But, hello everybody, and Merry PitchMas to all. I don't have a Santa hat, so I don't know if you saw earlier, I was trying to put this on my head, and it's too small.
But too small.
Too small. We have a stocking here, and by the end of the evening, this will be filled with delicious candies and vomit.
And meats.
And only the softest meats.
The finest, softest meats to reach your maximum shrimp potential.
As you can see, we've got all of our friends here, only on my side because there's nothing to set them on over there. But we've got
I got a rock.
We got Leonardo. We've got a smaller Donatello from like the more modern series. I don't know why he's smaller. We got Marty McFly. He's about to be eaten by Pennywise, and we got Boba Fett, skinny Boba Fett. That's not how he looks anymore. Now he just wears a blanket.
It doesn't look like anything anymore. It looks like a skeleton.
Well, no, he's alive again now.
Oh.
They're like, you get to be alive again because everyone thinks you're cool, Boba Fett, despite the fact you haven't done jack shit. Boba Fett's just really one of those characters that's like, man, it's a good thing you look cool because you don't do fucking anything in like your original appearances. But
Boba Fett left for cigarettes 30 years ago.
He never came home. There's a part in Attack of the Clones, the worst Star Wars movie. I'll fight anybody who says otherwise. Please don't fight me. But when he picks up his dad's helmet after his dad's been casually decapitated with just the most casual ease by Samuel L. Jackson, he's just like sweeping across like he's like opening a door, and he picks up his dad's like helmet and looks at it, and really his head should just fall out, but it doesn't for some reason because Star Wars doesn't go quite that dark, and because they're cowards.
Yeah, and
what camera I'm looking at, what mic I'm looking at.
You got a mic in your head.
You got a camera on your face. We
just had a big ass head in that helmet. That's why it didn't come out.
He just didn't want anybody to know. But
everyone at the head enhancement clinic said no one would notice.
So, yes, hopefully, if all goes well, you are listening to this Christmas Eve, and never again. I'm going to take it off immediately after Christmas.
Christmas.
Because this is our Christmas episode, and this one's going to be, I think, a bit looser, because I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if you do, but...
do I ever?
And but we have a little bit of theming going this episode. You can't really, it's hard to get the mic and this in, but we're both wearing Shining sweaters.
Memorabilia.
Yeah, you're wearing one that actually has Shining stuff on it. Mine is Santa cutting through a door as if he were Jack Nicholson. My cousin got me this, and they really know my style.
Hell yeah. SCP 4666.
ICP every day. But, yeah, so do you want to introduce today's topic or the words we say at the beginning to give the illusion that we ever have any kind of structure in doing this show?
Oh, we know what we're doing.
Oh, yeah.
This is an episode very near and dear to my heart. So many moons ago, I was stumbling across I was stumbling across the Apostles, and I found the biggest hit of the summer 2010. It wasn't 2010, but it was a man that looks like Ziggy Stardust and Heath Ledger's Joker, or maybe a little bit of like Frankenfurter, ran into each other really fast. And his name is Divine David Hoyle. And the first time I ever saw him was he was singing a song about masturbation and how the whole world, and including lollipop ladies, lollipop men, and members of the House of Parliament should masturbate.
And the creators of Lollipop Chainsaw.
Yeah, it's true. James Gunn and Goichi Suda should all just masturbate. It's like a family. So,
lollipop children, lollipop men,
lollipop chainsaw, masturbating. So, and then from there, I stumbled into a deep dark rabbit hole.
Deep depression.
I did. No, it was a deep elation. I pity the dead, for they know no such Jubilee. They don't know that Jubilee is a vampire. That's so stupid.
What would we do with this character? Well, what's her power? Well, she could shoot fireworks. Oh, let's give her a power. Let's give her something that would be directly conflicted with light being everywhere.
So, he's this guy that in the 90s, and like, I don't know if it was like Channel 4, like Public Access or something, but he would just go on and he'd have like 15-minute slot with like a green screen and very uncomfortable close-ups, just Meg just caked on like a hooker just sneezed in his face.
Covered in sweat.
Just so sweaty.
He's the original Nick Lutsko. Or maybe they're the same person. We've never seen them in the same room at the same time.
Maybe he's like his grandma or something.
The grandma he killed and needs some pardon for.
Or the grandma he thinks he killed. In front of the show, Nick Lutsko.
I told her everything I know. I dropped her off at the motel and she never came home.
And so there's an entire episode with this Christmas themed, and what better way to kick off today's episode with a Divine David destroying Christmas. He's an agent of chaos, and he's my dad.
You don't have a choice. That's how it is on PitchMas. Divine David becomes everybody's father, and you don't have a choice.
He's like Uncle Grandpa. He's everyone's grandpa.
Yes, and we're gonna start things off by pulling a toy out of our first toy of the night that's come in, and quite possibly the only one, because this is limited to whatever is in arm's reach of me. And we've got, look at that! We've got a Tim Allen brought us a sledgehammer with a buzzsaw on the back. That's also a pen from the game Dead Rising 3. Are you happy, my brothers, who send me all the shit from Loot Crate they don't want or didn't want because Loot Crate went into oblivion?
Dead Rising was pretty cool until 4.
I never played the third one. Is it like when I went over to that like sort of realistic like looking style? I'm like,
garbage.
I don't want to do this. Like, don't make my weird crafty cartoony game like serious.
Yeah, for real. Like, I've never played Dead Rising 3 myself. I played the first 2. Those games are pretty fun. Like, the third one, like you said, it has that, like, weird, like, gritty, like, Gears of War-esque fucking art style to it.
Oh, yeah. Because everybody knows what we needed more of was dark, like, depressing zombie games.
Yeah.
It's not like one of the things that made Dead Rising stand out was the fact that it was fun and bright and colorful.
Yeah. And, like, it had its own fucking political satire to it as well.
Yeah. And the fact that, like, those games were largely just made, like, on the fly.
Yeah.
Like, is pretty impressive, because I think the second one was, like, greenlit immediately, and it was, like, a whole different team than who worked on the original one.
Yeah. Blue Point Games? No, not Blue Point. Or some... They inevitably became, like, Capcom Vancouver or some shit.
Blue Waffle Games, yes.
Yeah, Blue Waffle House. So... It's this dimly lit neon blue, just on the highway, always there, always open.
Well, it's like how there's Waffle House and then there's that place called Huddle House.
Yeah.
And occasionally you'll find one that has just stolen the sign of Waffle House, that ransom note sign. It's just red and it says Huddle House. I'm like, this is like we're in a different dimension. I don't like it.
It was like the Jim Gaffigan joke about Waffle House where it's like, oh, it's like a plaid pancake. Let's take 12 of those for a nickel.
I've seen a gun 3 times in my life. 2 of those have been in Waffle House. I think I threw up in here once.
Oh, there it is.
Friend of the show, Jim Gaffigan.
Oh, yeah. Go check out his album, Beyond the Pale, in stores now.
Yes.
So, I was at the mall earlier today, speaking of Santa, and which we weren't.
Santa runs them all.
Oh no, dude! I was just thinking, it's just fucking so sad how COVID's a thing. Like there was like no one.
You're right. It is very sad that COVID's a thing. A very astute observation.
Yeah, no. Tune in next week for more astute observations, such as poor people need more money, says World Bank. But yeah, so like Santa had a mask on, and I thought his fucking big burly beard would be enough to shield him from the sick.
His big bare butt, back and balls.
If I was a guy with a big burly beard, would you still be yelling at me, or would you be smacking my bare butt, back and balls? Yeah, it's the funniest thing. A guy crashed into the mall food court earlier in an Oscar Mayer Wienermobile.
We're all trying to find the guy who did this.
But yeah, no. So I saw like there was no one in the mall, and like one family passed by and was like, "Hey, look, Santa!" And then like the kids couldn't like sit on Santa's lap. They had a Santa surrounded in like a jail basically with like a present jail.
Santa, well, that's what he gets for. Well, they finally caught Tim Allen for all that cocaine smuggling into the country that he did.
Yeah, that's what was in the boxes.
Yeah,
that was for the murder.
What's in the box?
That was for the murder of the previous Santa.
Yes.
It wasn't enough that he's cursed to be Santa for the rest of his life. Instead, he has to also like atone for his crimes.
I found out that apparently there's like a thing that like no person working for Disney could have been convicted of a crime or anything like that, and Tim Allen's like one of two exceptions to that. The other one's Robert Downey Jr.
You have to have a squeaky clean record in order to work at this place where of anti-Semites.
Yeah, you have to have a squeaky clean record or otherwise Mickey will smell the fear and the impurity in you, and he'll eat you from the inside.
Man. And then you go to Disney World, and then you just check out the dead body floating in a river exhibit, and he's like, "Hey, Mickey, can I throw a rock at the dead body?" "Sure, I don't give a shit." Yeah. So, I saw these kids, and they were, like, forced to be on the outside of, like, the present mode / prison. It was just so sad.
Depresent mode.
It was a depresence.
Did you get any presents this year? I got depresents.
So yeah, that leads me to I was sort of on the drive over conceptualizing what the Divine David movie would be.
Just not paying attention to the road at all, just plowing through children.
Just completely reciting the Santa molestation monologue.
And there it was, rotating on a spit.
Just doing donuts in the middle of an intersection. But yeah, no, so I was thinking how Santa would just like be in a mall, and then this is how the movie starts off: just Santa in a mall, just like having kids on his lap, and then like Divine David sits on the fucking Santa's lap, and then he's like, did you kiss my daddy, Santa? Did you kiss my fucking father, Santa? Is that scared from It's Always Sunny?
I thought his face would be a nice ruddy complexion.
But it was green, and it smelled.
But it was green, man.
And then like he's just getting carted off by like security. Just reciting this entire thing about how Santa and his claws ripped his back asunder.
Ooh, it'd be great if Divine David fell off somebody's roof and then they put on Divine David's clothes and they became Divine David. And that's how it works. It's just like reincarnated. It's a curse, basically.
Or a blessing.
I can be your devil or your angle.
So yeah, every time I'd have friends over, you included, Andy. You can attest to this. When the night was dwindling.
Can I, or every time you put that on, did I just disassociate and go to another realm? It's like when you put on Snopsisette and everyone's like, "Steve, can you please stop playing Snopsisette and Waltz and Grum?" And then you just play it again, Steve.
Merry Christmas and God blesses everyone.
Goodbye.
Yeah, no, it was either that, and then if that wasn't enough, I just put on Pulse Deep in my birth bow.
Oh wait, I forgot the whole reason I keep forgetting to talk into the mic. I forgot the whole reason I brought instruments up here is because we're going to sing twee Christmas songs for our Christmas special. I can't play this and it's probably out of tune. So you don't know what it's like when nothing feels alright. You don't know what it's like like
to be like me.
I remember once I was talking to my cousin. I'm like, yeah, that is the epitome of like an emo song.
Yeah.
Like if you wanted to distill what it was, like the thing that annoys people about that label, that is it. Like just the entitled whiny, like, yeah, nobody cares about man. And my cousin tried to defend. He's like, well, he's being sung in character. I'm like, yeah, the character is him. Shut up.
Yeah, like that was like the most like commercialized bullshit, just whiny, twingy, fucking that and that other song was like, hey, Dad, look at me, did I wanted to, did I go?
I don't know why I thought
to plan. No, throws him out the window.
I for some reason I thought that the song you started to sing was. Shit. No, I don't even remember.
It is shit.
It is shit. Well, yeah, that is true. For whatever reason, Giant, when I used to work there, shout out to Giant, that place I worked.
That has a dumb fucking robot with the
that has a creepy robot that just follows you and is there for God knows what purpose. And when I first started using that, they had to put like notes on that said, "Please do not disturb the robot.
Do not molest robot. Do not stick your fists in Android girls.
But do not lollipop chainsaw robot." But yeah, so for whatever reason, they played two different versions. It wasn't enough that they played one. They played two different versions of Welcome to My Life by Simple Plan.
There were more than one?
I guess. Like, one was like sort of an acoustic version. And I'm like, oh, as bad as the song sounds with like powered instruments, this sounds even worse. Like how I said powered instruments, like it's like tools.
He's just fucking that guy from Death Grips that just like plays the broken glass. He just cuts his own face with broken glass.
Check out my pneumatic guitar.
He just plays a Fisher-Price guitar.
Here is the stylings of The Way by Fastball. Everybody say right while I spend gold.
Everybody Wang Chung tonight.
It's a true Christmas song. There you go.
Oh, sweet.
You can regale us with your stories of being caught in the Judeo-Hawaiian War and having to play the song of your battle of the people that you were fighting for in the battle. I'm having a stroke as usual.
Andy, you need to go back to history class, dude. You need to check your privilege about the Judeo-Hawaiian War.
The Judeo, what is Judeo means Jew, doesn't it?
Yes.
When all the Jews fought all the Hawaiians, just in the greatest theological versus regional conflict that has ever happened.
Well, yeah, isn't that what well, yeah, that was the whole conflict was about? I don't know, World War II? Just the Jews getting kicked out of Hawaii? Oh, you can't be here, Mainlander.
Are the people of Hawaii also the people of, like, Montana? Oh, I'm going crazy over there out by the lake. And I say, well, I know, but this ain't that kind of place. He was kind of funny looking. Funny how? Well, I don't know, just kind of funny looking.
I think that one cover of Somewhere Over the Rainbow was inspired by the one Hawaiian guy just watching the flames of Auschwitz.
There needs to be we need to go to the alternate timeline where John Denver recorded that cover of Somewhere Over the Rainbow and that Hawaiian guy sang Country Roads. Maybe I wouldn't fucking hate that song then.
Yeah, and then the other alternate universe where the Hawaiian guy did Old Town Road.
Yeah. Did I ever tell you that the one of West Virginia's Twitter accounts got into an argument with me once because I pointed out that Country Roads, if you look at the lyrics, was probably written. It was probably written about Western Virginia, not West Virginia, because they talk about the Shenandoah Mountain, or they talk about the Blue Ridge Mountains, which you could see from West Virginia, and they talk about the Shenandoah River, which touches West Virginia for 8 miles of road.
Yeah, it touched it all in 8 Mile.
Yeah, it was all in the documentary 8 Mile. So, I pointed that out, and they're like, actually, this person would disagree. And I'm like, well, that they're like, actually, the songwriter John Denver would disagree. I'm like, he's only one of the songwriters, and they never responded to me about that. And I'm like, West Virginia, there's more like legitimate things that I could be criticizing you for. There was a state that had that one. I don't remember if he was a governor or senator or what, or just like maybe a mayor or something, but he was just this fat, like looked like a potato, and was blind, like, so it was just like like always appeared to be looking up to up to the ceiling, and they like the dude's just super homophobic, and they asked like, what if you found out your kids were gay? He's like, well, I'd probably take him out to swim and see if my son could swim and see if my daughter could swim, and people are like, are you saying you're gonna drown your kids if you find out they're gay?
No, he had no intention of murder. He just wanted to take him because he loves him so much. He's definitely not a homophobe.
I just tie some concrete blocks around him and see if they could swim, Your Honor.
What a lad. Yeah, there are other legitimate things they could be criticizing West Virginia for, like Mothman statue. Make that ass thicker, son.
I remember I was talking to my family once, and I said... I told my aunt that I really wanted to go to Point Pleasant to see the Mothman statue, and I wanted to eat its ass. And then that just proceeded to be an evening of me and my cousins having to explain to my aunt what that meant.
What eating ass meant?
You had to explain specifically what it was like to eat Mothman's ass.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of you gotta parse the fur.
Oh, Mothman probably is furry. Probably furry and muscular.
Oh,
the two worst things to be.
It's like that picture of Doge, like super strong Doge versus like the tiny Cheens.
The tiny Keens.
Tiny Keenan and Kel.
We should get Keemstar on the podcast, and then I'll kill myself.
In that order?
Yes. Just directly after.
He doesn't walk into the room to see your corpse?
And he'll be like, depression isn't real.
Depression. So, yes, there are many Christmas traditions that the Divine David is just most like other normal human beings engage in, like decorating the tree.
Yes, normal human being, Divine David.
Yes, and he is so normal, and he decorates the tree so well. And during his Christmas Masterclass extravaganza, by the way, I'm pretty sure Matt Berry like ripped off Divine David in some way, like the way he talks in Toast of London. Because like, you remember that first episode? He's like, "Oh, there are not quite the large number of homosexuals, and 1 in 10 men are homosexuals." And then his brother's like, "Not in the army, they're not. The number of homosexuals in the army." None. And then he hears a cork pop and he shoots the ceiling 3 times. But yeah.
Every time.
Every time. Which way's London? That way. Walks in the other direction.
Yes!
Yes! Yes! Yes! Steven, can we get a no? Come on, Steven, it's just one word. How long could it take? So I'm imagining Divine David going up to like the Rockefeller Center or Times Square and just decorating the tree, getting on a big fucking like cherry picker and decorating it with like, he goes to the butcher shop and just orders like an entire fucking pig's worth of like sausage and just like fucking throwing it all over the goddamn tree and hanging meat buns and fucking pig heads and shit all over it.
I just imagine going to a butcher and being like, "Can I have meat?" What kind of meat? Meat.
Hey, we got monkey.
Need some monkey? We got monkey. Got grasshopper.
How big? Big's your fucking fist, dude.
We got Antlion from the Half-Life series. Starring, I forgot to... I wish I could have gotten a picture. I was driving around the other day and someone had a bumper sticker that said featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series.
Yes! Oh, that guy's my hero.
Maybe that was just you from the future.
God, I hope it was.
You keep coming back to the past to try and kill yourself so you don't get suspended. You try to kill yourself in your 20s to prevent your suspension in your teens.
Dude, to prevent my suspended license. I was driving around on a suspended license, and I put the Dante featuring the Devil May Cry series over my license plate.
and you replaced your tires with cream cheese.
The tires themselves?
Yes.
That's
You just filled them with cream cheese, and now when you puncture them, just white gooey cheese comes out.
Oh, I love white gooey cheese. So sweet and good for your teeth.
Everybody loves lamb chops. It's so nice and healthy for you. Don't believe that's accurate.
I don't even like lamb chop.
Everybody likes lamb chop.
Divine David, he will also sing us Christmas carols himself with good tidings we bring to you and your kin. We wish you a horrible Christmas and a disenfranchised New Year. Just going from door to door, just caroling there, and everyone just fucking beating him up and throwing him in the river.
They never let poor Rudolph rotate on a spit.
And Santa's standing there with the bubbling meat on the rotisserie, pointing at it with a gin bottle, inviting people to pull at Rudolph's flesh. And poor Rudolph, poor miserable little Rudolph, only had 3 legs because Santa had torn off and thrown on the rotisserie. Standing there looking faintly ridiculous, wearing only a reindeer-sized suspender belt and tights, and a ridiculous sort of bra ensemble.
Feces smeared all along the walls of the grotto.
That's what I walked into. I went into his grotto. The people just lying around in their own excrement and their own filth.
Oh, yes, I remember Santa and his grotto. Rearrange the letters in Claus, and I give you Cluzu.
Rearrange the letters in Santa, and I give you Satan.
So as you can see, the Divine David is queerly quite the figure. I'm going to start using that. But he's clearly quite the figure. And you can look him up, and any known footage or image of him just looks like he's covered in Vaseline and it's just melting down his face.
Very apt. But it's probably also true.
That's what his makeup is. It's just Vaseline that he put food coloring in.
And just rings of dirt around his eyes and mouth.
But Divine David is. I watched this one show called "Are You Scared?" It's on. It's hosted by the BuzzFeed Unsolved guys, and they just tell stories, and they don't know if they're while they're reading them if they're like a true story or if it's like a creepypasta or something like that.
Yeah.
And they always use these creepy drawings in it to illustrate stuff. It's very effective. But Divine David looks like one of those creepy drawings. He somehow looks like all of them.
Oh, man. I read that he made a movie about a man that molests his own retarded nephew called Uncle David.
What?
And there's no script to it. And it's just him just molesting this poor retarded guy for about 2 hours.
That's is that really a movie then? Is it a documentary?
It's a biopic. And he retired the Divine David character, I think, in his final show was the Divine David on Ice.
We should get him to bring it back to combine it with our Christmas movie, the Divine David's Christmas on Ice. It'd be perfect.
Truly.
So, yeah, it's a Crimbus miracle that we
are
found,
alive.
Yes, that we found Divine David, and that he's brought so much joy into our life. The joy typically reserved for things like Snopsisette.
Yes. Shout outs to the boy, a friend of the show, Andy Wilson 92. That's probably his name.
We'll get him to do an animated intro for the show. That's what we'll use from here on out.
Just him just slamming his dick on a Casio keyboard and playing Tool songs backwards.
But
go ahead and watch the entirety of Snopsisette.
Yes, the entire critically lauded series of Snopsisette.
Yes, where 15 minutes feels like a fucking eternity.
I mean, that's kind of like what listening to the podcast is.
It's exactly what we strive to emulate every single day.
It's definitely what editing the podcast is like. When I'm like, oh, that was only 15 minutes. I thought that was the full hour. It's like being trapped in a room with us, the worst fate.
The worst face. Blackface and more like the worst face.
And now we go to Leonardo with the news. He's going to give us the news from his perspective as a turtle in Manhattan. The sewers are covered in shit.
Subscribe to April and he has only pans. She only makes pan pizza.
That sounds like a horrible restaurant. I want variety.
Yeah, like the Heart Attack Grill, where instead of French fries, you get a side of cigarettes.
I think you still get French fries. I think that's added on top.
Well, yeah.
Or even better if they gave you fried cigarettes and you eat your fried cigarettes.
Yeah, just Wolchek, the fucking bear, the Polish fucking infantry bear, or artillery bear that is all of his fellow countrymen just fucking fed him cigarettes and beer.
Oh yeah, that one fucking... Did you ever hear the story about that guy who...
ate cigarettes and beer?
Yes, and beer smoke. I think he was like a Polish soldier or something like that, and he like...
Already a horrible fate.
Yes. He wound up in like Nazi territory or something like that, and he was like the last of his crew to survive. So he took a bunch of meth, thinking he would die or something like that, and managed to ski down the hill.
Yeah.
And like survived on eating like only a raven that he had caught and managed to kill. When they found him, he was like severely skinny and stuff like that. Like, yeah, and eaten in a very long time. And the pictures of him, he just has these wide, creepy eyes. And when, like, in the story, it's like, yeah, that looks like a guy who smoked a bunch of meth and skied down a mountain and then killed all the people who were after him.
Hell yeah. What a fucking legend.
We should get that guy on the podcast.
God, he's probably still alive.
Yeah, he just keeps smoking more meth, and that's how he stays so young and vibrant.
Stop praying for my breath. Pray for me.
Pray for me.
Pray for me. Stop praying for my grandfather. He's getting too strong and the cops can't catch him. That'd be a nice little Christmas story to tell the kids.
That grandpa's being chased by the police.
Yeah, the racist police.
But still the police won't leave me alone. It just fucking kills me in that video when it cuts to him just blowing into a harmonica and producing like a saxophone sound.
Well, yeah, it's like that guy in Power Rangers that blows into a fucking flute that plays a MIDI version of a saxophone.
That plays a MIDI version of Careless Whisper.
That's the true canon version.
That's the version they should have released at launch. At the launch of Careless Whisper. Before they released the Wham DLC where you got the Wham rap. I can't believe that there's a rap by just some white guys that starts off with, "Hey, everybody, take a look at me. I've got street credibility. I may not have a job, but I have a good time with the boys that I meet down on the line." Said DHSS. Said the rhythm that I'm giving is the very best. It's a song about being unemployed and how cool it is to be unemployed with your boys.
After you make that song, you deserve to be unemployed.
Or dead, according to Wham's trajectory.
Yeah.
Last Christmas, George Michael was alive. Can't say that joke anymore, but it's still funny.
What do you mean can't say it anymore? In this
PC culture, we can't say that George Michael's dead.
Yeah,
no one wants to accept it.
I'm tired of this George Michael being dead erasure.
This is George Michael censorship.
This is George Michael dead genocide.
So we started going by Boy George. Of course, that didn't prove much better.
That was... Arrested Development used to be funny.
Wasn't that season 4? I think that was like one of the few funny jokes from season 4.
Yeah.
That and Anus Tart.
A new start, Anus Tart.
Hey, come on, move it, Anus Tart. But, yeah, so that's basically our Christmas episode.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome. I didn't have too much planned for this. Mainly just here to enjoy the tidings of the season. We've made it through another year. I mean, this is the first year we've done this, so our podcast didn't. But
it barely even got off to a running start. It's more like limping out of the gate.
Yes, considering every episode had something go catastrophically wrong. But
yeah, like hitting record.
Yes, but that's what makes it fun. So I just personally like to say thank you to everybody listening for giving us a reason to do this. Because we'd be doing this no matter what. But
and speaking into the void.
But now we at least get to record it and make it content, and you poor motherfuckers get to go listen to it and be like, this is content. And meanwhile, we're here like, we've got them all fooled.
It's actually nothing. You've been crazy for sharing a collective consciousness of insanity the entire time. Joke's on you, idiots. But really, our gift to you this year is making our Christmas episode. It's shorter than all the other ones.
Yes, it's a true Christmas. Well, because you can listen to it and then have to go back to pretending to spend time with your family.
Yeah.
But so I guess we should Christmas up our recommendations.
The worst show on television.
Yes. So do you have any recommendations, Christmassy or otherwise? What's something you like to do around the holidays that you recommend people partake in, other than like suicide, which I think we're both going to drive off a cliff, Thelma and Louise style, like gripping hands, but just. So that's going to be our Christmas miracle. But is there anything you like to recommend on the to do on the holidays?
No. Everyone's always like, oh, Die Hard's a Christmas movie. It's like, no, it's not. Just fucking don't. My recommendation to all of you is don't fucking be that guy that says Die Hard's a Christmas movie. We get it. It takes place during Christmas, and like there's a scene in the movie where like he puts the sweater on the guy and he writes on it, I have a machine gun, ho ho ho. That's it. We get it. You don't have to fucking force it at the same.
Where he writes out the entirety of the lyrics to Christmas Wrapping by the Waitresses. What's that sweater say? Bah humbug, but that's too strong because it is my favorite holiday.
It's like the entire B movie script on the t-shirt.
Just years before its time. That's Bruce Willis wrote B movie.
Bruce Willis did a lot of things. Bruce Willis wrote B movie. Bruce Willis did 9/11.
Bruce Willis made an album called like Return of Bruno, where he played soft jazz or something, and then he was in like wine cooler commercials. Can we get Bruce Willis like trying things? That's way more funny than Bruce Willis looking like he wants to kill himself.
Yeah, like my Christmas wish is for Bruce Willis to not do paycheck movies anymore.
It would be a Christmas miracle. I need to stop saying. I've said that like 4 fucking times since we started recording.
It's okay. We'll edit around it. Probably not.
Actually, we should get a recommendation sent in by our fans.
Ooh.
As pulled out from the magic sack. It says here. Everybody should go watch Cuties. I don't know which fan sent this in, but we need to find them and kill them.
Let me see where that's from. It says it's from France.
The worst part is that what this actually is just my name. So
you're recommending we watch Cuties.
I'm recommending, yes. It's something I like to do every Christmas. Before.
Well, thank you for tuning into the very last Pitch Shift.
The years before we had it were truly the hardest Christmases. Yeah, don't watch that. But yeah,
Christmas or otherwise.
Yeah, no, because that's I think like the roast of Bruce Willis or whatever. I think that's what it was. If not, it was just something that Bruce Willis was at, and he like closed it out by saying like Die Hard is not a Christmas movie, and he seemed like very like gung ho about it. I'm like, yeah, I agree. It's just a movie that happens to be set around Christmas, but also the fact that you don't think it's a Christmas movie, Bruce. I'm like, nah, it's a Christmas movie. If it makes this old cranky man that much crankier. Just old salted egg. Like, I feel like if you licked Bruce Willis, it'd be salty. As opposed to when you lick people and it's not salty. As opposed to everybody else, like humans don't just have that layer of sodium in us.
Yeah, no, like when you lick Divine David and it tastes like Vaseline.
Yes. Flies in the Vaseline, David is. Sometimes it blows my mind. Go listen to the entire discography of the Stone Temple Pilots and then wonder why God lets such things happen.
Yeah, like Scott Weiland.
Yes. Well, that's a good. Who had there's Stone Temple Pilots. What's that other one? Oh yeah, fucking Chris Cornell. Fucking Soundgarden.
Yeah.
Which out of those two bands, because those are two bands I get confused all the time, and now even more that they both have dead lead singers. But out of those two, which would you rather listen to?
Soundgarden.
Yeah, that's probably right.
Like Bad Motorfinger's a pretty good album.
I mean, I like some of the stuff by Stone Temple Pilots, and then other stuff sounds like it was like taken from Nirvana's like D-sides.
Yeah,
it's like the worst songs they never made.
It's like they're trying to be, so their first half of their career was trying to be Nirvana or Pearl Jam or vice versa, and like the second half was trying to be more Nirvana or like Alice in Chains type stuff.
I think the thing that for me is like no one has ever tried to be Nirvana as hard as The Offspring singing Self-Esteem.
Yeah,
that's the ones like la, 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 like
yeah.
You couldn't have been like that. All of their songs kind of sound like they're trying to be somebody, just different people at different times, but that's the one where it's just like, that's just you just took like Smells Like Teen Spirit or like, we'll just change a few things and then there you go.
Yeah, like punk Offspring was awesome, like, yeah, like Crazy Taxi. That's what I recommend. Go ask Santa for Crazy Taxi this year.
So you can play it on your PS5.
Yeah, and then probably take out all the music so it sucks. So go play it on the OG Dreamcast. Pirate it if you have to. Play it on a fucking PC emulator. I don't know.
Or just get a Dreamcast and then you never have to buy any of the games because you can just pirate all of them.
Yeah, when they tried their hardest to do a fucking anti-piracy measure and they unironically made it the easiest for the fucking pirate of all time.
Go get a job at Sega developing the Dreamcast 2.
Yeah, hell yeah. They're probably going to do that.
I like that everyone's always like, it'll be called the Dreamcast 2. It's like, yeah, maybe, but also why would you do that?
They should call it the Nightmare Cast.
Like, I wish the Wii was just called GameCube again. GameCube continues. GameCube forever.
GameCubed.
Did you hear that Tim Burton has said that he doesn't
play
really,
GameCube?
Yes. He didn't really like the titles of the later Batman movies. He's like, Batman Forever, Batman and Robin. That's something like somebody would get as a tattoo or write in a yearbook. And I was watching Mr. Sunday Movies. It's like, who would get that as a tattoo? Just Batman Forever.
Batman and Joker Forever.
If I get a tattoo of anything related to Batman Forever, it'd be just say Kiss from a Rose that have Seal's face.
Hell yeah.
I think that was the one that had the soundtracks for those later Batman movies actually stayed pretty consistently good, including one of the only U2 songs that isn't fucking terrible. Like they have a song called Hold Me, Kiss Me, Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it fucking objectively slaps.
Nice.
I'm like, you guys have made like 2 good songs and one that I kind of have a guilty pleasure for. It's like the Elevation, the Hold Me, Kiss Me, whatever, that song. And then, what's the fucking one that everyone makes fun of them for? Fucking Vertigo. Like, that's my guilty pleasure one where I'm like, I don't think this is a good song. I can see why it's always used, like in the South Park episode where it's like, oh yeah, Bono's in Africa helping children. He's just walking around going, yeah. But like, I can see why that's because I think that's the point where a lot of people like our age realized who U2 was, because like those like fucking ads for that album were on TV all the fucking time, and it was in ads for other shit and all that stuff, and I had that video where they're in like a Target. I feel like that's just a deep-seated memory where someone's like, I don't remember a lot about U2, but I remember I don't fucking like them.
Well, you said earlier how Offspring tried to be Nirvana really hard. Linkin Park tried to be fucking U2 really hard at like their 2007 album.
It's amazing that so many people have tried to be Linkin Park since.
Yeah.
Like that band Alien Ant Farm.
Oh yeah.
Tried to not them. Crazy Town. They're the ones who sang "Come my lady, come my lady, you're my butterfly, sugar baby, sugar baby." Yeah, their album after that, if you listen to it, it's just like, oh god, Linkin Park's not even good, but you're trying to be Linkin Park and you're not as good as they are, so it's getting really bad.
Yeah. Yo, you know what was like the fucking creme de la creme when it comes to that shit though?
The cringe de la cringe.
But ironically, cringe de la cringe was fucking Puddle of Mud trying to be Nirvana for all those years. And hearing fucking the guy doing that cover of like About a Girl, just him just like being constipated the whole time and also passing a kidney stone. and all the other guys in the band is trying to keep a straight face. You have the one guy like banging on the bongos, is fucking yucking it up.
When you showed me that, the only thing I could think of is the MTV Unplugged where Korn played, and we had to hear what Korn sounded like unplugged. Turns out not good.
Oh, no kidding. They didn't sound good plugged.
But when they were plugged in, they had that sort of...
Yeah, they were Kid Rock.
Yeah. So go listen to Kid Rock.
Yeah, watch him tear his own face off. Oh, you guys will get that in a few years when we make the cards.
You'll get that when we offhandedly reference it and just end up explaining it for 40 minutes in an unrelated video. But, yeah, I'd say... in terms of Christmas movies, I'd say in terms of a great modern Christmas like horror movie would be Krampus.
Yeah.
That's one of those things that when I saw it, I'm like, but like that movie's really grown on me. I think it's really fun.
It has really good sound design.
Oh yeah, and
it's one of those movies that, ironically enough, is better watching it at home than in the theater.
Oh yeah. Well, that's I've noticed that more with that director's movies because he directed Trick or Treat, which I never saw in theaters, and God knows if it ever was in theaters. That was like one of the first things Liam ever recommended to me. It's like, you gotta watch this, and I'm like, yeah, I'll do that in like fucking 10 years, unrelated to anything you just said to me. And then he made Krampus. And then he made his Halloween horror movie, and then he made his Christmas horror movie, and then he made Godzilla, God of the Monsters, or King of the Monsters, or whatever.
Yeah, the Flag Day movie.
Yeah, which, I wasn't wild about when I saw it in theaters, but I watched it again at home, and I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I can just put it on the projector. Literally, sometimes I'll, like, sleep the opposite way on my bed, and I'll just project onto that wall, as I always project onto that wall.
Yeah.
Yes, I just project through the wall, and I go fight Dr. Strange. And I did that one, and I'm like, this is awesome.
Nice.
But yeah, so go watch Godzilla King of the Monsters. I recently watched Bumblebee. That's great. Go watch that. And I'm still playing Fallout New Vegas. H. Bomber guy actually just did a video about Fallout New Vegas. That was pretty great. I really recommend that. And so yeah, I recommend two great movies to watch on Christmas are Gremlins and Krampus. Those are some great choices. And I remember once I put on Gremlins at a Halloween party, and everyone's like, "This is a Christmas movie, not a Halloween movie." And I'm like, I only own so many creature movies. I could put on Hereditary. That's a horror movie. I don't think we're all gonna come down and have a fun time watching that. Oh, did they get to the part where everybody's sad all the time? Oh, that's the whole movie? Okay.
Nice.
But,
I love sadness.
Yeah, overall, do whatever you want for the holidays. I hope you have a great holiday. And thank you so much for listening to us and giving us reason to do this and making our holiday that much more stressful because we gotta finagle recording before doing our holiday plans, and then we have to see each other. Yeah. That's like the worst part because like years ago I transferred a portion of my consciousness into Steve and he did it to me, except he thought he did it to me, and it turns out that just went into a fox and that carried it to some other country, and we don't know where that fox is, and we're afraid it's going to come back one day in somebody else's body and try to kill us.
Yeah.
But whenever we're in the same room, regardless, we still have that weird psychic fissure, and that's what causes our brain rot. When we're not in the same room as each other, we're actually nuclear scientists, but we come together and we get ape brain.
Yeah, no, it's like my left eye is looking at Andy, but my right eye is looking back at me, and it's hurting my brain.
and my left eye is looking, and my third eye is looking into the future, and my third eye is blind.
And my
do 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 do.
And my left eye is Lopez.
We've actually got a special guest on the podcast tonight. Please welcome Third Eye Blind. Do 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 do. So that happened. But yeah, so before we become even more brain dead, thanks so much for watching and listening, guys, and supporting us. There will be another episode of PitchMas, even though the season will be over. It'll be called PitchMas Hangover, and we'll do that. We might even be No confirmation yet, but we might be going live. I need to stop pointing to your camera. We might be going live for New Year's. We don't know if we're going to do that yet because recording this when we're not going live is already such a nightmare. So we'll see what happens. But either way, thank you so much, guys. And we hope you have a wonderful holiday. And we're sorry
for existing.
We're sorry that we put you through this, but you willingly click on it. So thanks for the views. But so thanks so much, guys. Hope you're having a wonderful holiday. It really means the world that we have your support. Can't say that enough. And we will see you in the next episode of Pitch Shift and the final episode of PitchMas.
Merry Pitchmas to all and to all a good blight.
We gotta close off by singing, but we wish you a Merry Pitchmas. It's shitty.
We wish you a shitty Pitchmas. We wish you a shitty Pitchmas. We wish you a shitty Pitchmas.
Maybe we'll still get this year.
Maybe we'll steal Christmas next year.
Maybe we'll steal Christmas. Maybe we'll give everybody a Grinchy next year.
Oh, mommy, give me Grinchy.
Inside here, there'll be a Grinchy for you. So thank you very much, guys. We will see you later.